How's everybody doing? So far in the year 2024, I have drilled 5 bowling balls. And yes, it's only February 2nd. And not gonna lie, by the time this year is all said and done, and we're in the 2025, it's probably gonna be a lot more. Luckily and thankfully, the people at Storm Products have been very helpful and to get me some of the newest stuff for me to make videos with and review and to show off to you guys, which I am very thankful. I'm thankful for my rep, Steve Todd, Rep Salone. I'm thankful for the Pro Shop owner, Tony Helms, and Strike Zone Brainerd, and I guess now Strike Zone Chattanooga. Remember, if you're in the Chattanooga area, check them out. And you'll probably see me there half the time anyway. But because of them, I've been able to represent Storm and be able to kind of show off the stuff. And I'm going to do a video series. I'm going to start a video series, I should say. I'm going to do it throughout the year when I drill a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to grade these balls as I see them so far, and then possibly in the future videos I could actually go back and look at it and see if I still feel the same way. And these will have videos on them. Some of these balls probably already have videos out, and I'll go ahead and start them in order as they came out. I'll go ahead and start with the first 2 releases we got, and we'll go from there. So we had a dual release as the first of the year with Absolute Power and the Summit Peak. This Absolute Power, I have thrown it a few times besides just in the video. And for the time I've had it, it has been very, it's hard to explain. So I bowl league in one house and then I shoot content in another house. In the content house, this ball is fantastic. And the house that I bowl league in, I've had one good game with it. And not saying it's a bad ball, I just haven't done anything super extraordinary with it. I felt like I needed to bring the surface up. Stronger stuff was always more in play. And then I didn't need something to kind of bridge the gap, if that makes sense. And I don't know if it's necessarily just the cover prep or whatever, but there's just something about this ball where it hits in where I bowl at. It just don't really see it for me. So I'm going to give it a B, just because I do really like it in the content house. And then when I bowl tournaments, I'm going to bring this back out because I do see this being a really good option when I get off the really strong asymmetric stuff and before I go into some of the like cleaner, shinier options and spectacle balls. So I'm gonna give it a B for right now. Not saying it's a bad ball, but I really do like how it looks. And this is gonna be one of the balls that when I go to a new place and I have the option to bring a bunch of bowling balls, I'm definitely gonna try it and bring it because I see potential. Absolute Power. And along with Absolute Power came out the Summit Peak Storm. And I'm not gonna lie, this is an A+++ ball. I really like how, for one, I like how it looks. I do like the gold and the kind of tealish color and the black. It does look really good. So it gets points on how shelf appeal. And I really like for it being like a symmetric pearl shiny ball. It's not super, how do I put this? It's not in most categories and most of these balls are normally in. For me, it's actually, I guess because of the core and maybe the AI technology in it, it makes it want to be kind of early for me. So like, there's been plenty of times where I've started with this ball in the league house that I bowl at, and in the content house I record in, and it has looked really good on fresh. And then as I've moved in, I'm not gonna say it's gotten better, but it still looks really good from that spots. Now there is some out of bounds for me with this. I think just because of how low the RG is, it makes it want to stand up a little too early if I get super deep, which is fine, there's balls for that. But I have had the most confidence in throwing this one when it comes to like new situations. Like there's even a third house that I do bowl in down in Dalton, Georgia, and Retro Bowl, and we shoot a lot of tournaments there, or we bowl a lot of tournaments there that we run. And I really do like this one there because typically for me there, everything hooks so much. And and this one actually allows me to kind of play closer to the track area where most balls there don't really let me do unless I get to the really weaker stuff. But yeah, really like this one. A++++. Videos out. I even brag about how good it is. So after the dual release that we had, we ended up having a 3-ball release. And these are fairly new to me. So like these grades could easily change in upcoming videos. but I am a fan of these three. The Harsh Reality by 900 Global. So I had a Reality a year ago, and I never really saw the hype in it personally. I thought it was okay, but everyone talked about how good the Reality was. They talked about how good it was, you know, when it was dull, how good it was when it was shiny. And both just seemed really okay for me. So I didn't really throw it. But my wife, she needed a really stronger ball. So she threw the Reality. I, plugged it, redrilled it for her, and she did like it. She threw it for a while. She ain't throwing it now because other stuff just kind of came to the rotation. So this Harsh Reality, I didn't really know what to think. And honestly, probably part of me wouldn't have got it if I didn't get the Eternity Pie last year. Now the Eternity Pie is probably my ball of 2023. Loved that ball. I really love the 901 cover that they put on it. With this being the 902, I was like, okay, this is probably gonna be a pretty decent release. And also I do like the orange. So I just threw this the first night on Tuesday, and I didn't do nothing super crazy, but I did love the control that this ball has. For me, because of how early it wants to hook, I can kind of play fairly right for the most part as long as I roll the ball. It rolls really good, and honestly, it hits the pins very well. So can't complain. Really like the Harsh Reality. I'm gonna give it an A right now. And we'll kind of revisit it in one of the next videos, and we'll see if it goes up or down. This was the ball I didn't know what to think. The Attention Star. So I know the Attention is a series that is kind of more used overseas, but I know nothing about it. I don't know where it fits. I don't know how people normally use it. And from the numbers that I saw and from the cover it uses, I was thinking like RST vibes, mainly the X2 because it shares the exact same cover. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. It's definitely better than the X2 I had. And honestly, I would go out of my way and say this is kind of more UFO alerts than it is an RST X2, which is great. The UFO alert was really good. Everyone seemed to like it. I'd never had one. I did want one. I just never really got around to it. And for me, I've only thrown this a couple of nights, and it's weird coming out when I first threw it. It felt like it was kind of like fighting because like it wanted to be early, but then it wanted to really hook down lane. It wanted to be clean, but still wanted to be like usable on the fresh, but it wanted to store a lot of its energy. It's hard to explain. I feel like I was fighting with it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put it up. I'll try again later. And then I brought it out in the third game on the tight lane that we bowled on because in Hickson, for some reason, one lane likes to get tight, the other one doesn't. This one really seemed to shine when I threw a couple of games with the Harsh Reality, and then I moved to this one. And then when on the left lane, that actually hooked a lot. As long as I got deep enough and had a clean enough release, I think it was fine. But I still need some time with this one. I'm gonna give it a B right now too. And also B is not a bad grade. It's more of just, I need time with it to kind of understand what I'm gonna do with it and go from there. But Attention Star, I do like how it looks. Like the logo more than anything. The name, not 100% sure about, but it is cool looking, so. And the last one of the three releases that we got recently, Exponent Pearl. So, when I first signed my contract with Storm, I did get an Exponent from them because I heard so many good things about it. And some of it's true, but I don't see what everyone else sees. For me, it's kind of like, I have a hard time starting with it. I have a hard time going to it. Maybe on tougher conditions, it might show me a little more, but right now I kind of keep it polished. I do like it polished, and I did throw it a little bit in my Sublime review. If you see that, you'll kind of see how I use it, and I'll talk kind of more detail about it. But it's going to be one of those balls for me that I need some time with also. And also with just having so many bowling balls, I don't get a lot of time to throw everything. But the Exponent is still kind of in my rotation of stuff, and I do throw it in a couple different houses. So with this Exponent Pearl, I didn't exactly know what to think or what I was getting into, but at the end of this month, we bowl Tennessee State, at one house that is notoriously known for having the cleanest back ends and just having the sharpest back ends out of any house probably in Tennessee. It's Smyrna, and typically there you kind of want the weaker cleaner stuff, because like anything that starts up too early is just basically impossible. You're already basically in out of bounds zone. So I have to use kind of stuff in this range has enough energy to store it, but still, basically I needed a ball like this for that one center. So I was like, okay, cool. In worst case scenario, even if I don't like it or use it every day, I'm sure I could use it there. So I've only thrown this ball once, because typically where I bowl at Hickson, I don't really need to get down to stuff this low all the time. But I was kind of impressed with what I did see when I threw it in our Thursday league. I kind of had a situation where I left my backpack and bowling shoes in my wife's car, and she was leaving work to come meet me at the bowling center. So I bowled the first game in like tennis shoes, and I had a hard time just basically getting to the line, and it messed up my timing. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna throw this because I felt like I could throw this, because I felt like it's probably strong enough and weak enough. And basically I thought this would be the ball that can kind of keep me out of trouble until I can actually get my feet under me. And honestly, like, I only shot like, I think I shot 199. I think I shot 199, which isn't the greatest score, but like, considering everything I had against me, it did pretty well. And I'm also going to give this one a B. And kind of like I said before, B's ain't a bad grade. I just need more time with it. So in the next video, these balls are going to be very crucial on my regrading, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So there you have it. Those are the 5 balls I've drilled so far, and I'm sure there's plenty more to come. If you like this video, let me know down below. Comment, subscribe, all that stuff. See you later.